Now, as Taliban entered the outskirts of capital Kabul from all sides, sources are saying that Afghan President Ashraf Ghani is all set to step down. Ali Ahmad Jalali to be handed over power. The traditional, in fact, right now we're looking at Ali Ahmad Jalali to be handed over the transitional administration from Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. He will be arriving in Kabul soon. Jalali was the former Interior Minister of Afghanistan. He's also served as the Afghan ambassador to Germany since 2008. Jalali has also been actively participating in high-level meetings on major multilateral global issues involving the United States, Asia, Russia and China. Jalali was a final rank colonel, and during his military service in the Afghan army, Jalali served in command, staff and educational posts. Taliban have already said that they want a peaceful transition of power and don't want to capture Kabul forcefully. Well, on your screens right here, we're showing you visuals of an eerie rerun of the American capitulation. In 1975, Vietnamese forces ousted the US troops. In 2021, US choppers have started evacuating American staff after Taliban stormed Kabul. I'm going to cut across to Shiv Arur for more on that. Shiv, if you can really take us through exactly what went by. We know in 1975, Vietnamese forces had ousted US troops. Now in 21, you have US choppers evacuating American staff after Taliban has stormed in.
You know, when they say history repeats itself, I don't think there could be a more iconic set of images to depict just how scary and true that fact is, Nabila. The images, transiting from that famous April 1975 image from Saigon in Vietnam at the end of the Vietnam War, when the US battered, bruised, bloody, and had completely lost control of this entire conflict, had finally withdrawn from there. Those were the pictures of their helicopter, withdrawing forces from the US embassy in Saigon. And now you've got these images of a very similar helicopter, a Chinook, a twin-rotor Chinook helicopter, extracting US embassy staff, from the embassy in Kabul. Two iconic images that depict for you how history never changes. Nobody learns their lessons. Conflict, gets into this vicious cycle of blood and, intimidation and conflict, and nothing ever changes. In the US, they completely bungled that entire war. It was a shame for them in their country, and they had to finally put their tails between their legs and withdraw after insurmountable losses in that country. And now in Afghanistan, after having spent untold billions, probably trillions of dollars there, after losing so many people in Afghanistan, it's the same image, the same helicopter, the same kind of evacuation mission being conducted there. So we can write and speak all we want about the Afghan mess that's happened, but I think these two images that have been going viral on social media this afternoon tell it better than thousands of words could probably tell it, that nothing ever changes. History repeats itself, no matter how much more modern warfare and conflict resolution has become. It all comes down to the very same thing, and the world is unable to break out of this cycle of violence.
Stay with us. Geeta, if we do know that Kabul was really the last area where Taliban could have stepped in. They resisted all along, but now with Kabul falling, it appears it was almost the last nail on the coffin. It appears, at least symbolically, that Afghanistan now completely in the hands of Taliban.
Well, absolutely. The fact that they are now only talking about transition seems like the Taliban certainly have had most of the conversation their way, because they were not going to, and they were not willing on giving up on a few very important and critical points for the Taliban, which includes the imposition of the Sharia law, which includes that the current administration as it is will have to go, that they wanted ousted of the Ghani administration, and that there will be a new setup in place. Now we'll have to see what the power sharing setup is really going to look like. Is it going to be primarily dominated by the Taliban? And if so, then we know where the future really stands for not just Afghanistan, peace within Afghanistan, stability within Afghanistan, but the region as well. Afghanistan is geostrategically quite critically positioned and therefore is a very important near neighbor of India. India would want to see that India remains engaged with the administration, whichever it is, in Kabul. For now, what we're given to understand is that there are many embassies and missions that are evacuating. There are reports coming in that the British envoy now will be airlifted from Kabul. And the Indian side, for now, have not put out anything on the mission being cleared in Kabul, but they're monitoring the situation. If they think the things are going out of hand, then the diplomats and staff from the Indian embassy in Kabul could also be evacuated. But for now, that really has not happened.
Right. Stay with us, Geeta. We have some big news coming up here. Government sources tell us that India is closely monitoring developments in Afghanistan. They will be deciding on evacuation of diplomatic personnel from Kabul. Here's information coming in from the Indian sources. Geeta, we do know that India has been hectically trying to reach out to all those Indians, diplomats in Afghanistan, Kabul particularly. Now, we hear that the government is closely monitoring these developments in Afghanistan. They will be deciding soon on an evacuation of these diplomatic personnel from Kabul. Take us through what's going to be the process here of Indians being evacuated at the earliest. Are we too late?
Not late, really, but what really happens with the Indian side is that there are agencies involved and the mission. Security assessment is done on all counts. India was very quick to evacuate all the staff and diplomats from the consulate in Kandahar. Later, the evacuation took place from the consulate in Mazar-e-Sharif as well, because that's where the Taliban had closed in. Over here, there still is time because the Taliban are still in the outskirts, saying that they are not going to enter till a full transition really takes place. So there is some time, but the Indian administration also looking at if things are really going to go bad within Kabul. We know that mission and embassy officials from various countries have started evacuation. There were reports early in the morning that the US embassy ordered its staff to shred all critical papers, like all documents that have any critical that are critical in nature or have any secret secret information had to be shredded. So they have destroyed all the documents that they cannot carry, and most of it they can't if it's in paper form, and started evacuation of the staff and diplomats. The British are doing it right now as we speak. The Indian side says that they're still going to wait and see how bad or whether things are going to get bad. But it seems like there is a need right now to act quickly because the advisories that were put out for Indians to evacuate Afghanistan at the earliest is not complete. There still are quite a few Indians who are there. Many have pulled out of projects and must have come to the capital city, but they've not left Afghanistan. So for now, India should be looking at how, if the commercial space is not working, how best can they then start evacuating people and their own staff and diplomats from Kabul for now.
Right. Geeta, Shiv, stay with us. The heart of Afghanistan has now fallen to the hands of Taliban. In fact, hundreds of Afghan forces now surrendered to the Taliban in northern Afghanistan, the military's most significant single collapse since the withdrawal of the US forces that's triggered a wave of territorial gains for the militants. Let's take a listen. Now, as the Afghanistan crisis really worsens, Indians and Indian assets there also at risk. After the fall of Herat, the Taliban claim to have captured the India-Afghanistan Friendship Dam that was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi in 2016. It's not just Indian assets that are now in jeopardy. Pakistan-backed Taliban could prove to be a serious security threat, a nightmare to India.
India has joined Germany, Qatar and Turkey in calling for an immediate ceasefire in Afghanistan and asserting that any government imposed by military force in Kabul will not be recognized. As Afghanistan's descent into absolute chaos continues, Indians and Indian assets are already under attack. The Ministry of External Affairs has advised all Indians working in Afghanistan to not only register with the Indian Embassy in Kabul, but also return to India till the situation stabilizes. The Taliban racing to power in Afghanistan will have major consequences for the region. India has already invested more than $3 billion in aid and reconstruction activities in the country, from their parliament building to schools, hospitals, roads, infrastructure and dams. Taliban have already captured an Mi-24 attack helicopter that India had gifted to Afghan forces in 2019. However, reports suggest that Afghan forces removed the blades of the helicopter before surrendering to Taliban so that it cannot be used by the terrorists. One of Afghanistan's biggest dams, the Afghan-India Friendship Dam on the Harirud River in Herat, has also been captured after the fall of the third largest city. Inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi and Ashraf Ghani in 2016, it was the main source of electricity and irrigation water for hundreds of thousands of people in western Afghanistan.
All violence must come to an end. And ties with international terrorism should also be cut. And we cannot have terrorist camps once again moving back into Afghanistan. And this will have a direct impact on India. It's important for us to protect the gains which we have had in the last nearly 20 years.
Main players in Afghanistan and
A hostile power in Kabul would be advantage Pakistan. The pro-Taliban sentiment in Pakistan is growing stronger, which may try to harm India in the near future. India's main challenge, however, will come when Pakistan shifts the terror training camps of terror groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed to Taliban-occupied Afghanistan for future terror strikes against India.
Right now, the onus is on Pakistan to create such a conducive atmosphere, including by taking credible and verifiable action not to allow any territory under their control to be used for cross-border terrorism against India.
A China-Pakistan-Taliban alliance might become an insurmountable national security challenge if China is able to integrate Afghanistan into BRI and CPEC and fully exploit its natural resources. India's leverage in the region will weaken. Bureau Report, India Today.